Now, listen, kids, quiet down. If you'll all just quiet down, I'll take you for a ride in my automobile. Yep, same one I drove across the country in 1924. Yep, bright yellow. I call her the Yellow Peril. Now listen, you all heard what happened yesterday in France? Lindbergh arrived in Paris. He flew all the way across the Atlantic Ocean by himself. No one's ever done that before. Oh, hang on, phone call. Hello? Yes, this is Amelia Earhart. Well, I do fly a little, mostly on the weekends. The Atlantic? Would I be interested in crossing the Atlantic in an airplane? At this point, only 10 people had ever crossed the Atlantic in a plane. All men. No woman had ever done it. I would be the first. You bet I would. Naturally, I had to go in for an interview. Yes, I'm aware of the dangers. It's 4, right? 4 people have died trying to cross the Atlantic since Lindbergh did it. But who could pass up an opportunity like this? Stretching the limits of human achievement? Going where no woman has gone before? It was nerve-wracking. You see, if I was too likable, they'd be afraid to send me, afraid I'd die. If I was too unlikable, well, then I'd be bad for business. They didn't want that either. So I did my best to be as mediocre as possible. And I must have been a mundane success because they chose me. Of all the women in all the United States, they chose me. Now, the plane was called the Friendship, and the Friendship flight, as it was called, had to be planned in great secrecy. Well, at least 2 other women were planning to do the same thing, and we didn't want them to know what we were up to. In June of 1928, I climbed on board the Friendship, along with Bill Stultz, our pilot, and Slim Gordon, the mechanic. Hey, fellas! Say, what's with the orange color they painted this ship? Ah, got it. Yes, a bright orange plane will be a lot easier to spot, floating out there in the Atlantic Ocean. We took off without much fanfare, laden down with so much fuel. We took off from Boston Harbor in the wee hours of the morning. We barely got off. And when we did, the plane tilted and a door opened and I went rolling across the floor. I managed to grab a fuel tank and steady myself while Slim leaped over, slammed the door shut and tied it shut with a rope, and off we went. Now we had to stop first in Nova Scotia for refueling. I remember my logbook entries. Well, it's raining today, so we're still here. We'll try to take off again tomorrow. Still here, still raining. Raining again. More rain today. Oh my goodness, it is still raining. It poured rain for 13 days. And our pilot, Stultz, proceeded to be dead drunk most of that time. Listen, Slim, you know it's been 2 weeks now. We're supposed to have good weather tomorrow. We have got to go. No matter what shape Stultz is in, we're leaving tomorrow. Deal? All right. When you wake him up, slap cold water in his face. I'll bring the biggest thermos of coffee I can find. It was a huge risk, but we took it, and the weather cooperated. At last, we were off, soaring high up above that beautiful Atlantic Ocean. And then, just waiting. I didn't do any of the flying. I just sat there, watched the clouds roll by. About 2 hours in, we were surrounded by fog, and then snow, and then ice, and then the radio went dead. Poor Stultz was flying blind. Oh, gosh. Oh, we should be able to see land by now, boys. How much fuel have we got left, Stultz? Oh, it's not much. We've got to land soon. Keep your eyes peeled. Come on, something, anything. Wait, look, look! It's land! It's Ireland! Ha ha! We did it! after 20 hours and 40 minutes, we landed in Buryport, Wales. Oh well, it's the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, right? The welcome in Europe was amazing. Astonishing, really. In no time at all, 2,000 people were down at the dock clamoring to get my autograph and shake my hand. Oh, the newsreel cameras went nuts. And here you see Lady Lindy, whose triumphant flight across the Atlantic has the admiration of the world. What a wonderful woman. And isn't she just like Lindbergh? Lady Lindy, so ridiculous. But Slim, Bill, where'd they go? This really isn't fair. I was just a passenger. I just kept the logbook. Bill Stoltz and Slim Gordon did all the flying. And they did a swell job, too. I was just a sack of potatoes along for the ride. I tried to make them understand that the boys deserved the credit. They did all the work. But from the minute we landed, it was clear that the accident of sex, the fact that I happened to be the first woman to cross the Atlantic in a plane, made me the top attraction in our particular sideshow. So I posed for pictures. And I pose, and I pose, and I pose. Boy, just a few months ago, I was making $60 a month as a settlement house worker. Now, I'm having tea with George Bernard Shaw, dancing with the Prince of Wales, and dining with Lady Astor.